And welcome everybody. Yeah, as Philip said, I'm going to talk at quite a high level about how to make your website or your app compliant with UK law. So I don't know how can I just do this? Yeah. So just looking at the UK law requirements generally, and again, this is a very much a high level look at things. But broadly speaking, if you have a website or an application or an app that is either available to the public or to other businesses, if it's B2B, B2C, doesn't really matter, you do need to consider three things primarily. The terms of service, which is essentially the contract between you and the people that will access your site and or your app, and says who you are, what duties arise, etc. And we'll go through that in a bit more detail. A cookie policy. This is especially true for websites and any app, about what the policy is regarding cookies. I'm not going to go into that in a lot of detail today, but it's just something to be aware of. And then the privacy policy, which is all important, has been important for many years, is even more important now since the GDPR has come into force. And that basically is a policy that deals with how your website or your app uses individual data. It's important to note, and we're not going to cover them in detail today, but it's important to note that certain specific sectors will also have additional regulatory issues. So, for example, if you're providing financial services, obviously there's regulation by the relevant financial authority. Food and beverages, insurance, other things, cosmetics, medicines, etc. They will all have additional regulations that will need to be considered about what information has to be provided. And I think just looking back, essentially what all of these are about is about providing information, sufficient information to comply with the relevant law and regulation to the people using your website or your app.